they're supposed to, because they don't want you to know that they're supposed to be limited by the rule of law and by the fact that you're sovereign and you have rights. Yeah.
We were always referred to as a democracy. We used to be referred to as a republic. And the last one.
Well, there's a famous quote about that from a lady that approached Benjamin Franklin on the time when he was leading the Constitutional Convention, and she said, "Mr. Franklin, what have you given us?" And his answer was, "A republic if you can keep it." So he was smart enough to understand what might happen over time. Yes, sir. I don't come in now. The woman that you.
Can you do, I've heard it, John, but your couple-minute speech on why school choices win?
School choices win because public education is failing. A number of years ago, I lived up in Loudon County, and I was having a little head-button contest with a local school system. And this was like 7 years ago. And at that time, the school system would tell you that the per pupil cost for educating a child was about $6,900 a year. What I found out was that did not include debt retirement, nor did that include facilities maintenance. When you added those in, the school system, the per pupil expenditure in Loudon County 7 years ago was between $13,000 and $14,000 a year. Now, how do you not educate a child for $13,000 a year? That's just amazing. But we moved out of Loudon because we didn't have enough money to continue to live there. And we moved to Prince William. And being the troublemaker I am, I looked to see what they were paying for a child. Average class rating somewhere between 25 and 30. I go back to school night to meet all my son's teachers, and this one teacher, I should have done this because she was young, probably knew, but she said, if any of y'all on the way out would like to contribute like $5 or $10 so that we can like buy paper and erasers and things like that, we would sure appreciate it. My hand the average per pupil expenditure now is like $15,000 a year. You multiply that by 25 kids in the classroom, and the only question is, whose brother-in-law is making out like that? And of course, as soon as I said that, all the others were straight. I like my so it just started a little revolution there where I could just kind of sit back and smile and watch some others have their way. Public education, two things we need to do here. Loudoun County, the people in Loudoun County, back at that time, I don't know if the same still is today, it had the highest median income of any county in Virginia. The parents there have enough money, and by virtue of the fact that they have enough money, they have enough political power so that if there's something about their school system that they don't like, they will have it changed. If they know there's something going on that's not right. In the jurisdictions around the country where they successfully pass school choice, it's not the parents in the lily white suburbs that take their kids out of the public school system, because most of them are pretty happy. But the people who leave the public school system in droves are the inner city kids. Now, George Bush passed No Child Left Behind back in 2004, somewhere in there, I think. And what No Child Left Behind said originally was that if your child was at a failing school, and they defined what failing school was, then your child could leave that school and go to any other school in the district, and the government would be responsible for providing transportation. At that time, there were 4 districts in Virginia where every school in the district was failing. So what we've done here is taken an entire generation of kids, and at this point, many generations of kids, and we've said, you're going to this school, based upon where it's geographically located, you know day one of first grade, you're not going to get an education here, and you're going anyway. Now, how is that America?
And everybody else has to pay for it.
Yeah, and everybody has that. That's just not, I mean, we can do a whole lot better than that. And if competition works in the automobile industry, maybe I pick that example. If competition works anywhere, it's going to work in education too, which is another thing that they found out in places that they already have school choice. School choice makes the public schools get better because they only lose kids. Yes, sir.
Well, that's all, Communist Manifesto has 10 points on one page, and the 10th point calls for free public education.
Yeah, and you see, that sounds so goes, everybody's going to get an education. The government's going to pay for everybody to have an education. The government's going to pay for everybody to have health care. Well, how's that working out in Europe? Why is it that the capitalist countries always have to bail out socialist countries? If socialism is such a rosy scenario, why aren't they bailing us out?
Greece is going bankrupt, and the IMF has told Greece, as a condition of IMF loans, that they have to scale back their public health system. That's one of their plans. You mentioned sovereign citizens, or people being sovereign. The Virginia State Police Terrorism Report includes a category of prospective new terrorists called the sovereign citizen movement. And the sovereign citizen movement is very fond of saying, and this is a quote, "You have no rights you are not willing to assert."
Well, there's a threat to the system.
How about that?
I've heard that before.
Well, I'm a terrorist.
And I can see where sovereign citizens would be a threat to the progressive state. Another thing that I'm always amused about, when I people hear, I don't believe in taxation without representation. Yes, you do, because another big plight of the progressive movement was we're going to take decision-making authority away from the lowest levels, and we're going to have these experts in Washington that make those decisions for the local school boards. This whole bureaucratic nightmare that we have in Washington today is one of the tenets of the progressive movement, because the stated reason is now we have these PhDs that are going to make the decisions for the rest of us. The unstated reason is because this creates a buffer between the people in office and the people who vote. So you can get rid of Obama, you can get rid of Congress.
State Department.
You still got the State Department, Department of Education, Department of Energy, FTC, IRS, and about 4 million other agencies. So until we address that problem, the war's not over. We can win a battle by taking some politician. We can win a battle by changing over Congress. But this all has to be dismantled. And that's not going to be something where we can all go home and sit our lazy boys and watch the big screen, because this is going to go on for years. Yes, sir.
John, one comment I have is that we could sit here, Washington's 90 miles away, and the same spirit, the same corruption is going on at our local level. And we sit around and complain about what they're doing in Washington. And I go up to the meetings on the budget, and you think the county was nothing but a bunch of paupers up there begging for their tax dollars.
Well,
until we, the people, decide that we're in charge, it's going to go on, but you can't stop what's going on in the local level.
a lot of people in this room need to decide to run for public office. Several years ago, and I should do this every election, but this was probably 2 elections ago in Virginia, where the whole General Assembly was up for election. I looked at all 140 races. About 60% of them, there was no opposition. About About 10% more of the races, the challengers have $10,000 or less to run this whole campaign. So that's like 70% of the races. There's really no competition. And we just keep voting the same people, one right after the other. They show up at the General Assembly session, they do not do their homework, and they show up with the idea of, I'm going to let leadership tell me how to vote. What about leadership? Your reaction to that?
More people have got to move